Okay, so it's officially tomorrow. Welcome to the premiere of my fishy life. It took me a while to realize that's what I should be doing here on YouTube, and this is it. So welcome. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Stacy Benstock Klein. It is, I don't even know what day it is. 2 days after Christmas? It's the middle of the night. It's just after midnight. My sleep has been off the past couple of days. The Jew who loves Christmas, but I have lost all concept of time, for my kids have slept. My youngest son, Ori, slept Christmas Eve at my in-laws, and then my oldest son, Ezra, who's 13, slept there Christmas night and the day after Christmas. So I guess it's the second day after Christmas today, Monday. I'm in off. Siren, South Philly. What do you want? I'm gonna start dumpster diving tomorrow. Where am I at? What did I want to get on here and say in my explanation, my introduction, I should say? I have been not just a Phish fan, but I've literally revolved and designed my life around the band Phish from Vermont, and getting to see their shows and Trey Anastasio shows live as much as I possibly can since I was first hooked in September of 1992 when Reba got me, this studio version of Reba. Yeah. Saw my first show a couple months later at Bloomsburg University in PA 21193, and it never stopped. However, I have not seen a show since December 30th, 2019, and I'm not complaining because it needed to happen this way. Sorry, I'm really tired, so my voice all raspy. It needed to happen this way. I needed to be stripped of all in-person live Phish and Trey shows. Trey's the only one in the band that I had regularly seen solo since hiatus, because he's my draw. He's always been my draw. I didn't always realize it, but he just is. I love the band, don't get me wrong, but there's something about that human that just pulls me towards him. So, no shows, but, when the pandemic hit and lockdown started, my kids' last day of school, I believe, was March 13th, that 2020, that Friday. One of the first things I did within a day or two was, in my phone notes, I came up with a pandemic silver linings pro list. And that was my way of expressing my gratitude for everything that was coming to me because of the pandemic. Now, I always prefaced it by, I know other people are suffering more greatly than I am. People are sick, people are dying, yada yada. It turned out that Ori had COVID in February of 2020 before he would have been tested for it, and I knew something was wrong. I kept telling the doctor. I took him to every doctor that he had, and every nurse that was involved with his life. He's got a host of special needs, and everybody's like, yeah, no, it's just this, it's just a virus, it's just a virus. Well, yeah, it was a virus, but it was the coronavirus. It wasn't until I saw Pink give her interview to Ellen, and she was describing Jameson's, her son, COVID symptoms. And I was watching and listening, and I was like, oh my God, that's what Ori had. Because Ori's basically, you would consider him nonverbal. I understand him more than anybody, but he has autism, Down syndrome, developmental delay, speech delay, food delay, potty training delay, just delay out the wazoo. He's 9 now. So it's hard to always know what's going on with him, especially when he's sick, right? So when Pink did this interview, I was like, oh my God, that's what was wrong with him. And then a week later, I got sick with COVID and I lost my job. And then I ended up on unemployment. And it was a gift from the universe for me to be able to be home with my children. And even though it was virtual learning and it was a struggle, it worked for us. I celebrated Ezra's 12th birthday in that April. Like, I made the most of it. I said, I'm going to make the most kickin' lemonade out of the rankest of lemons. And that's what I did throughout the lockdown and throughout the pandemic. And then Phish blessed us with the release of, they did dinner and a movie every Tuesday night. For those of you who don't know, what they did was free of charge on their webcast, livefish.com. You could also access music on livefish.com. It is the best $9.99 a month I have ever spent. I don't know, I've been doing it for years. It's the one thing I won't give up. Even though we want income. Yeah, I won't give it up. It's the access that to Phish music. Like, excuse me, I need that. So as I've stripped away no shows, I have brought an influx of their music to me. So they started doing dinner and a movie where they released a recipe of food to make, which I never did. Excuse me, but other people did. And then followed by that, they would webcast an old show of theirs in full. Well, one of the shows during intermission, this was separate. They had a listening party for their new album, Sigma Oasis, which has Everything's Right, which was kind of my hook into that album, because that Everything's Right and More were the two songs that sustained me from the election 2016 until my tush landed on that beach in Mexico in January 2017. Like, so I was there for it. Well, Sigma Oasis, the song, has been like everything, an evening song and Leaves and like the whole thing. So I listened to that, and then every Tuesday I would do dinner and a movie. And I started painting. I started painting rocks. It was a way for me to de-stress. And then I started painting canvases. And then I started painting Trey and Tom's lyrics. Tom Marshall, lyricist for Phish, and Trey Anastasio, who is the main lyricist for Phish. And I started painting lyrics because they touched me, they resonated with me, and they did something for me, and I wanted to pass them on. I was a social worker since 1995, even before I graduated college, because of my internship. And through every job of mine, I listened to Phish, I talked about Phish, I shared Phish, I shared lyrics, I shared stories, all of it, because it's in my soul. I have Phish in my soul, if you see my paintings. So they did the dinner and the movie, and Trey was releasing that stuff on Instagram. Like, it was so amazing during the lockdown when he did that. And then what happened in the fall, October or November of 2020, Trey blessed us with the Beacon Jams in order to raise money for the Divided Sky Foundation, which he is going to be funding to open a treatment center for alcohol and drug addiction patients in Vermont, because evidently there's like a no treatment center in Vermont or whatever. So I'm all here for it. So yeah, I was on unemployment and limited income, but yeah, I donated as much as I could. It was small amounts, and every show on Twitch, I would copy and paste because I had it saved in my phone. Please, please, please play Fluffhead for Stacy and Ori. Please play Fluffhead for Stacy and Ori. I haven't gotten a live Fluffhead since Mexico 2017. Yada, yada, yada. I went to like 18 shows without a Fluffhead. Yeah. I sent it through every venue and every like pathway I knew possible. You know what I mean? To get to Trey. Like online, offline. I sent it to Ori's special education lawyer, because he went to college with Mike Gordon's wife, Sue. And he sent it to her, and I ended up getting a signed copy of Sigma Oasis to Stacy and Ori from Mike Gordon. And I still have it, and I'm so blessed. And he never played Fluffhead during the Beacon Jams, but it was alright. Like, I listened every night, like every Friday night. It was amazing, 8 Fridays in a row. And he kept people home in the middle of a pandemic. We had a reason to stay home. And then his first solo show back in June, which I was supposed to go to until Amber reminded me that it was my son's fucking bar mitzvah. I totally forgot that. I didn't realize it was the same weekend. I'm like, oh shit, yeah, I can't go. But what did he do? He fucking played Fluffhead. And then I was going to go to the Beacon show that next week. And of course, I did not read the fine print, and you needed to be fully vaxxed. And at that time, I had only had my first dose, because my priority was getting Ezra vaccinated first and doing Ezra's bar mitzvah. I didn't realize. Yeah, so I missed that one too. But that was okay, because he did Fluffhead again, and he got out the flubs. And I don't mind the flubs usually. I love the mistakes. But it's different with Fluffhead. I mean, you can hear everything. So yeah, those were my Fluffheads. He has mentioned a lot of people by name during the Beacon Jams, and since, like, in the serious interviews. And not me, but that's okay, because I know that Fluffhead was for me, and I know that he didn't do it during the Beacon Jams because he needed time to work it out, because that's a complicated composed song. Am I right, or am I right? I know it. And it'll come to me. It'll come back to me that, yes, I'll get confirmation from elsewhere that those were, in fact, my Fluffheads. So my Phishy life. They get me to do everything. Since the Beacon Jams, that's primarily what I have been listening to. Trey. I did watch some of the Phish webcasts over the summer and the fall. The distaste in my mouth because we were in the middle of a pandemic, and the lack of masks I saw, and me skipping Hershey and AC and everything, and Dick's, because it was the right thing to do, and we got kicked out of our last house, and we had to move, but this house literally fell into my lap, because I'm the co-creator of my life. So, with all of that, and YEMSG being postponed, which I am so grateful for so many reasons. I pleaded with them on TikTok. I'm over on TikTok a lot. Plead with them a lot on TikTok and Instagram. Both of those are public. To please postpone. And the next day they announced it, that they postponed. I asked them to cancel, actually, and they did me one better, and they postponed until fucking April, until Earth Day, until 420, until Passover. Yes, please, thank you. Cooler, warmer weather, lighter clothes, less stuff to carry. I like to travel light for shows. My higher self kicks in. I go on autopilot. when I do fish shows, and so the less stuff that I have to schlep around with me, the better. No April shows since the Island Tour 98, which I was at. So yeah, I'm here for doing New Year's in April. They're path forgers, so they should create their own New Year. Why not? Why not? Spring, like, I'm here for it. Bring it. Yeah. So back to where I'm like, back to, you've no idea where I was going. This is me. I ramble, I meander. This is the space I'm gonna do it in. I believe so for now. So I hope y'all I hope you subscribe. I hope you come along to hear about my fishy life. And my last thing is the Phish biography movie. Oh, my fingers are getting cold. Since the Dead biography movie's being made, and there's been talk, I, myself, Stacey Tina Benz.Klein, who have centered my life around this band, need and desire to be an integral part in making a Phish movie. I want to be involved. I have a unique perspective being a fan and not having a direct connection with the bands in a way. You know what I mean? I met one band member once, my first show, almost 28 years ago. Trey was waiting outside in the parking lot, just leaning on a car after the show, and I was with my friends from college, mostly guys, and I was like, yo, hey, is that Trey? Is that Trey over there? It was after the show, no parking lot scene. It was February, so it was fucking cold, and my guy friends were like, oh yeah, I think it's Trey, and I'm like, dude, let's go, and I walked over there, and we met him, and other than seeing Mike in the lot, you know, in the 90s and such. Yeah, no. But hashtag let's make a movie. I want to do it. Tom Marshall, I want to be on your podcast. I want to talk to you. Your lyrics have carried me through life. You and Trey's lyrics have carried me through life, along with Scott Herman, who has, yeah. I'm blessed and grateful. So come on, let's do this, y'all. Join me on my fishy life and hashtag let's make a movie. Happy holidays, happy Fishmas.